how improved do you guys think the New York Giants offense is going to be this season? Now, Giants fans are really excited with the additions that they are bringing in on offense this year. You traded for tight end Darren Waller, who's one of the best tight ends in the league when he's able to stay healthy. You re-signed Darius Slayton, Daniel Jones. You also are going to be bringing in a pretty good draft class. You drafted center out of Minnesota, John Michael Schmitz, arguably the best center coming out of this year's draft. And you also drafted speedster wideout out of Tennessee, Jalin Hyatt. So this New York Giants offense, they do bring in some pretty talented players, but is this enough for this offense to drastically improve? Can this become a top 10 offense this year? Because honestly, I don't really think that the Giants offense is going to be all that improved this year. Yeah, Darren Waller is a phenomenal tight end when he's healthy. Keyword, when he's healthy. Something that he hasn't really been able to do is stay healthy over his last couple of seasons with the Las Vegas Raiders. I think that was a big reason why they were willing to part ways with him. And then you sign Parris Campbell, which, yeah, he's a solid player, but last season was the best year that he's had since he got drafted by the Indianapolis Colts. And I don't really think that Parris Campbell really makes the New York Giants wide receiving core better than what it already was. And you look at their current receiver room right now, you got Isaiah Hodgins, Darius Slayton, you got Parris Campbell, you got Wan'Dale Robinson coming back. But is this really a wide receiving core that's playoff caliber? You went to the postseason last year with a wide receiving core that was not that great. But are you going to be able to do the same thing this season with a better schedule, playing against better competition? We saw what happened to the Giants when they played the Philadelphia Eagles. They got smacked. If the Giants are going to be able to make it back to the playoffs this year, this wide receiving core needs a little bit more talent, or they need some more production. Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodgins, those guys are okay, but they're not guys who are going to be able to get you through a complete season, giving you consistent play. And Brian Dable is a fantastic coach, and he's really good with the schematics and the X's and O's aspect of the game. But when you are playing against a tough schedule with teams that not only have more talent than you, but have just as good coaching as you, the team that not only is going to have as good as coaching as what you have, but has the more talented team, is going to win the majority of times. Daniel Jones could regress this year. Giants fans, I think, are trying to force themselves to fall in love with Daniel Jones based on the fact that they went ahead and they re-signed them to a lucrative deal, but also because of how he played last year. And Daniel Jones played okay last season. He played solid. He played good enough. Is he going to be able to elevate to an elite quarterback this year? I don't really know. I think that we're starting to see Daniel Jones hit his ceiling. And you got to wonder if last year was a one-hit wonder for Daniel Jones. He still has a lot more to prove this year. Going against tougher competition, now having to live up to somewhat of having expectations now because of the money that he's going to be paid on an annual basis. I don't think if I really trust Daniel Jones to be able to continue to give the Giants consistent play year in and year out with the supporting cast that he has. They don't have an elite wide receiver. They have Darren Waller, and Giants fans do have a right to say that Darren Waller makes this offense a little bit better, but you don't know if he's going to be able to stay healthy. And with his injury history, I don't think it's a matter of if he can stay healthy, but when he will get injured. And then Saquon Barkley, even if he does play this year, your wide receiving core still isn't all that great, and it's a passing league. Look at the 4 teams that were in the conference championship last year. Kansas City, they didn't have great receiver play, but they had good receivers who were able to step up. They also had Travis Kelce and a really great offensive line and a fantastic quarterback and Patrick Mahomes. Joe Burrow has the best receiving core in the NFL. The Philadelphia Eagles have one of the best receiving cores in the NFL. The San Francisco 49ers got a three-headed monster in their passing game with Debo, Brandon Ayuk, and George Kittle. And the New York Giants, they have Darius Slayton, Parris Campbell, Isaiah Hodgins, and Wan'Dale Robinson. And Wan'Dale Robinson had a really good rookie season. But I don't think that the Giants, from a skill position standpoint, have enough juice on offense to be a playoff team. Is their offensive line going to improve this year? That's also a big question that we have about this offense. Now, you know that your left tackle situation is pretty good with Andrew Thomas, one of the best left tackles in the game, but right tackle, we don't really know if Evan Neal is going to take that next step in development. You're hopeful that he takes that next step if you're a Giants fan, but he was really, really shaky last season. And your offensive guard positions, I think they're a little bit more to be desired. Now, at center, I think you are going to be really good there with rookie John Michael Schmitz. This dude was a fantastic prospect coming out of this past year's draft. He could have been a late first-round pick in some people's eyes with how good he is. But this offensive line is still really sketchy. Even when you do have Saquon Barkley, I don't know if him and Darren Waller completely make this team a lock to make it to the postseason with what they're kind of lacking at receiver compared to the other teams in this division. Even the Washington Commanders have a better receiving core than the New York Giants. Jahan Dotson, Terry McLaurin, and Curtis Samuel is way scarier than what the New York Giants have starting at wideout this year. The Philadelphia Eagles, the Dallas Cowboys all have better receiving cores and more talent on offense than what the New York Giants are bringing into this upcoming season. I don't think the Giants offense is going to be better than what it was last year. I don't think it's going to improve that much, and I think there's a small chance or an average chance that this Giants offense kind of takes a step back in 2023. These receivers aren't bad, but they're not great. And the Giants, at least based on what they look like on paper, are the most least talented offense going into this division this season. So I don't think this Giants offense has improved at all. And the reason why I had to bring this up is because Giants fans are, bragging about the additions that they made over this offseason. And judging by the offensive acquisitions that they've brought in, their offense still looks kind of mid. Just keeping in the stat. Be honest, do Parris Campbell, Isaiah Hodgins, Darius Slayton really scare you? I mean, yeah, I love Darren Waller, but is he going to be able to stay healthy? I don't think the New York Giants offense has gotten as better as what a lot of Giants fans are trying to push out there. I don't think this offense is really going to improve at all this year. And if they do improve, I think it would be small improvements. You don't really have an elite receiver. Your offensive line is still a work in progress. And I think Daniel Jones is now starting to hit his ceiling. But you guys let me know how you guys feel about the New York Giants offense and how improved you feel this offense would be in 2023.